Okay, Parshas Vayakhel. We're not going to talk directly about Parshas Vayakhel right now. First of all, the last Shabbos of the Zman, this Shabbos, gentlemen, last Shabbos of the Zman, unbelievable Zman coming to an end. So much effort, so much work, so much investment in yourselves. Sruli Quitner can't believe it. He's shaking just thinking about it, how much investment you guys have made. Gentlemen, a big round of applause for yourselves and for each other. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, incredible Zman. Incredible Zman. Okay, so this Zman, what's this Zman called? It's the end of, what's this month called? It's the end of Adar. We're going to Nisan, like we're moving from Adar to Nisan. Now, it's very interesting. The Gemara says that when Av comes in, when Mishenichnas Adar, when Adar comes in, we're supposed to increase Simcha. Just like when Av comes in, we increase our mourning, Mimatim b'Simcha, I should say, we diminish our Simcha. When Av comes in, we increase our Simcha. And it says, therefore, if a person has like a court case with a non-Jew, he should do it during Adar because that's the time when there's a special kayach to Yisrael. Rashi says something very interesting. Misha nichnas Adar, when Adar comes in, Yemei Nisim hayu Yisrael. Adar were days of Nisim for the Jewish people. What's the Nisim for the Jewish people in Adar? Purim. But Rashi adds Purim u Pesach. He adds Pesach in to the miracles of Adar. And this is really interesting because Pesach takes place in Nisan, which is next month. It doesn't take place in Adar. So what does Rashi want? You may Adar, you may Nisim Hol Yisrael, Purim u Pesach in Adar. Doesn't really make a lot of sense at first glance. I want to try to share an idea first. What's the Hebrew word for year? The Hebrew word for year, Shana. What's the Hebrew word for month? Chodesh. What does Shana mean besides year? What is a year? What's a year in English? What is it? 365 days? Maybe 366 some years when you have a leap year? Because really, a solar year is 365 and a quarter days. So they catch up every 4 years by making a leap year. Okay, so that's a solar year. That's a year. It has no deeper meaning. In Hebrew, the word Shana means something. What does it mean? Lechem Mishnah. That we have on Shabbos, Lechem Mishnah. The Vayakhel starts off with Shabbos, so we found our Vayakhel connection. What is Lechem Mishnah? What is it? Right? So Rashi says two perushim. It's a doubled bread, or it's a changed bread. It was a higher quality on Shabbos, the mun that came down, and they had a double portion of the bread from heaven. So there are two meanings in this word, at least two, Shana. One is to repeat, and one is a second. Chodesh, what does a Chodesh mean? We have Adar now and Nisan. What does a Chodesh mean? What word do you recognize with the same letters? Chodosh. It's something new. Every month has a unique characteristic about it. It has a unique way to connect to Hashem, a unique mood, a unique opportunity. It's always about a different facet of our personality, a different facet of our abilities. Every month is something new. But every year, you just start again, the same months again, same old. When does the year start? The Jewish year, the first month of the Jewish year is Nisan. It's confusing because isn't it Tishrei? We're not going to get into that discussion now. But the first month of the Jewish year is Nisan. And the last month is Adar. Generally, as time goes on, we go through a period of building something up. And then we're in our strength. We have might and power. And then we get to a stage where it's getting a little bit hard, a little bit old, and we kind of drop down again. This is the cycle of a human life. It's the cycle of all movements, whether they're political movements or social movements. This is the way things work. You have like the birth of something full of vigor, full of energy, full of life. And then you hit the middle age, you try to consolidate it, and then you start getting a little older. Achashverosh and Haman have this dialogue actually in the Megillah, where Haman says to Achashverosh, let's wipe out the Jewish people. Let's get rid of them. They're not helping you. You don't need them. So Achashverosh is really not against this plan, but he's worried. What's his concern? You think I'm going to be the first guy that tried to start up with the Jewish people? Look what happened to the guys who came before me. I'm afraid they're going to do the same thing to me. This is a Gemara Megillah Daf Yud Gimel Amud Beis. I'm afraid that the same thing that happened to all the others who started up, look what happened to Paro. Look what happened to Amalek. Look what happened to different kingdoms that try to rule over them. I'm afraid that they'll do to me what happened to them. So he had said to him originally, Yeshno Am Echad. Yeshno, there is Am Echad, one nation. Right? And he's talking about Jewish people who are scattered throughout your kingdom. And he says, Yeshenim b'mitzvos. They've gotten old in their mitzvos. Maybe they've gone to sleep. They've gotten old in their mitzvos. See the word shana over there again? Yoshen. Yoshen means sleepy. Yoshen means old. You're hearing this word shana getting repeated again? What happens at the end? At the end of the process, they're old. They were once a mighty nation. Their God was mighty. Their service of their God was mighty. Their connection was mighty. Today, they're just old. They can't do it anymore. Yeshno Am Echad. They're sleeping. They're old. They can't do it. Nothing to worry about. And Achashverosh goes on. He actually gives Haman the ring, and he gives him the ability to wipe out Jewish people. When did Haman want to do this? The last month of the year, Adar. We know that Nisan was when the big Nisim were. When Pesach happens, the Jews come out of Mitzrayim. Haman is trying to work out a lottery, like what date should it come out? He's all excited when his lottery comes out in the month of Adar. You know what happened in Adar? Moshe Rabbeinu died. It's the end of the year. The Jews are old. Their service is old. They're not fresh. They're running out of gas. They're running on fumes. Now is the time to get them. But what also happened in Adar that Haman missed? It was also the birthday of Moshe Rabbeinu. He was also born on that day. There was also a rebirth of life on that day. I want to look at this word Shana again. Shana, it means to repeat. We're doing it again. But it also means to change. It also means a change. I'm not doing the same thing this year as I did last year. I'm not going to do next year the same thing that I did this year. I'm going upwards. I'm going to repeat all the processes. I'm going to go through all of the same steps that I did this year. But you ever see a spiral staircase? Keeps going up. And it goes back over the same place. But it goes back over the same place from a totally different level. And words that meant something to me last year will take on a new meaning for me this year if I am staying connected. Ideas that meant something to me in the past, they're so basic. You know, sometimes you go to a person and you're going through a hard time and he tells you, just don't give up, keep going. Okay, you've heard those words since you're 3 years old. Why did it have meaning now? Because I'm in a different place and I needed to hear the same thing, but I heard it in a different way because I'm just in a whole different place. I want to tell you, we came to an end of the Zman. Okay, some people started running out of gas. Some people started running low. Okay, after pushing the big push for the trip and for the fahares and for the incentives and for hopefully for my own growth and for what I want to make of myself. Such a push. There's a little letdown. Is that letdown getting old? Or is it just a chance to get back the energy to renew? I can't get to Pesach without going through this year. Adar is the time of the potential for the greatest oldness, feebleness, and for the great preparation for rebirthing ourselves at a higher level in the upcoming Zman, in the upcoming year. You may, Adar, you may Purim the Pesach. They go together. We don't just start new again next year, fresh start. We start again from a higher place as the spiral staircase as we continue to ascend it in our lives. Gentlemen, we're at the end of the Zman. Amir Hashem, next Zman we're going to be missing 19 of our stalwarts, 15 of our stalwarts. A few will remain behind. We're going to be missing some of the amudim, the pillars of the yeshiva and the Beis Medrash. We could decide to become old, or we could step it up! Gentlemen, step it up! The Ezra Hashem, you may Purim the Pesach, you may Nisim. Have a wonderful Ben Azman.